right, so I'm on my way to work, and I thought I'd just do something real quick here. Um, I think I said in one of my videos in the beginning that I don't really talk about political things. And of course, the big political action at this time frame is the impeachment inquiry on President Trump. And I'm not going to get into whether I believe he should be impeached or not. That's a matter for the Congress. But I am a little upset about the proposed treatment of Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, because until someone can prove that he is acting in a partisan manner, then he should be given the utmost respect. Members of the military do not, for the most part, act in partisan politics. We're not supposed to. So for anybody in the Congress to question this soldier's patriotism is, for me, just beyond belief. If it comes back and he has done something that shows bias, then I would change that, what I've stated. But until then, he should be given the utmost respect by the members of Congress. People have talked about that he has been wounded in combat. So I looked online and found a little excerpt from the Army Times. And yes, he was wounded. He has a Ranger tab. I'd like to see for the most part, any members of our Congress go through the Ranger training. He has the Expert Infantry badge, and of course the Combat Infantry badge, since he was an infantry officer and wounded in combat. He has the Parachuter's badge, so he has jumped out of a perfectly good airplane and parachuted to the ground. Definitely like to see a member of Congress do that. Now, I know there are some members of Congress that were in the military. There may be some that are in the reserve components as still, possibly. Well, the one representative that was questioning him was asking him about how he interpreted the orders what the president stated to the Ukrainian president seemed to be an order. And the line of questioning went through on how in the military that if a superior asks for a favor, that's basically an order. And that is true. You are not your superior's buddy, for the most part anyway. So if they give you, if your commander or your sergeant major or whatever comes up to you and says, hey, I need you to do me a favor, that really means this is what I need you to do. Now, the question went on to ask, well, is President Trump currently or ever has been a member of the military? No. Has President Zelensky ever been in the military? I think the answer was, I do not know. And the congressman came back and said, no, he was not. However, the situation still applies. We call our president the leader of the free world. So if he has that ultimate title as the leader of the free world, if the President of the United States says, hey, I need you to do me a favor, and you are not one of the countries that are on equal footing, that means this is what I need you to do. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Again, I'm not weighing in on whether or not the president should be impeached. That's a matter for Congress. However, if you've never been in the military, then you can't understand that, and I cannot think of the words I'm actually looking for, but you can never understand that way of thinking when it comes to your superior even using the word. Normally they won't even use the word favor, but if they did, then it means this is what I need you to do. It's an order. So I do believe that that if the President of the United States asked a country that was not on equal footing for a favor, then he meant, this is what I want you to do. I mean, and maybe that's from me being in the military. But again, you're talking to supposedly the most powerful man in the world. I mean, those are the titles we give our president. Leader of the free world, the most powerful man in the world. So if we are going to bestow those titles on him, not officially, but those are the unofficial titles for the president, then how can we not think that he was not giving the president of the Ukraine not necessarily an order, well, maybe, but not necessarily an order, but maybe some type of directive, however you want to put it. But I don't think that anyone should talk against this lieutenant colonel until they have concrete evidence that he is acting in a biased and or partisan manner. And that's pretty much all I really wanted to get off my chest. I think that even though Colonel Vindman is still a member of the service, I believe that the veteran organizations should speak up for him, and maybe they won't because he's still an active service member, but I think they should speak out and say, we don't condone this type of talk to one of our nation's heroes. I mean, if the veteran organizations can support a presidential candidate, which personally I don't believe in that either, then they should speak out and say to the Congress, this is not acceptable. Any talk of vilifying this soldier is not going to be accepted. And I would lay odds that if you put the weight of the veteran organizations behind that, none of these congressmen, especially ones that are in heavily military districts, none of them will say anything related to Colonel Vindman that would be looked poorly upon. All right. So, again, I'm on my way to work, and I'm almost there. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and we will be talking to you later. Okay, bye.